Well, Mike Cugno is on the Toyota of Hollywood hotline. You can watch him locally on CBS 4 and nationally on CBS Sports HQ. And he will return this season as the sideline reporter on CBS 4's Dolphins preseason broadcasts, which is very exciting. Cugno, I think Jimmy got that wrong. Where are you calling us from? Where are you having the hot dog today on National Hot Dog Day?
Jimmy seems like the only one on the program that understands me and gets me. So I think all of a sudden I'm Team Jimmy.
Mike, I told him an hour ago your ass ain't eating no hot dog. I know you.
I mean, remember, Mike used to do stuff for the show, though. He used to care about the show. And then all of a sudden he's on HQ and he's doing Dolphin sidelines. All of a sudden he's like a different guy.
Yeah, I'm big timing you now. That's what it is. I mean, you finally cornered me to get me back on. And yeah, I'm a big time you a little bit here.
Yeah, I mean, the guy, in his earlier days in broadcast, he would call me and he would go, "Listen, this Jim Barry is eating up all my airtime, and can you get me on the radio at least?" And I said, "I think I can wedge you in if you'll eat a McRib or something." And he's like, "Whatever you need," because I know Jim Barry won't do that. So whatever you need.
I had to deal with a week's worth of guilt trips because I've been so busy with work, I haven't been able to come on. But he's sending me clips of Joe Z. He's sending me clips of Omar Kelly at various establishments around. See, they're doing it. They're doing it.
I'm like, real true friends of the show. Here's Omar Kelly drinking a Slurpee on 7-Eleven on Pina Colada.
I haven't poisoned my body enough for you over the years. You got to fry at a Panther game. That's all you get.
The snack wrap was reintroduced. Cugno wouldn't go to McDonald's for us. I figured hot dog day. Can you boil up a hot dog there at home then? I'm sure you have hot dogs in the fridge, right?
Boil a hot dog?
Well, I mean, you can't grill it, right? Yeah. What are we going to do?
Why can't I grill one? Was that
just
impossible?
Doesn't feel like you're a guy who would fire up the grill at a moment's notice. It seems like you'd have a whole procedure.
Oh, my God. I grill like 4 times a week.
You do?
Yeah.
What about a zucchini dog?
A little Crowder powder. What's that?
A zucchini dog or something like that.
Zucchini dog was my nickname in high school.
I bet it was. All right. Well, Mike Cugno disappointing us, not calling from because we asked you to get one of the roller dogs at 7-Eleven. When's the last time you've had a hot dog?
I will never. I don't know. It's been a while, but I will never do the roller dogs again. I've told you the story in Tallahassee buying the 2 for $1 from like the Shell gas station roller dog because you're like a broke college. I can't go back to that. I can't.
Upgraded, Hawk.
Well, roller glizzy. I mean, the old Cugno I used to know. Knock down a couple of glizzies, wash it down with a shamrock shake. I don't even know this guy anymore.
Never happened. None of that ever happened.
I don't even know this guy. Now he's showing up at Panthers games with a Tupperware full of zucchini muffins.
We had to catch him at Florida State. That's when Mike was Mike.
Bleep went down. That's when Bleep went down.
I would have eaten the Tupperware at Florida State had you asked me. Like, you guys just missed the boat altogether.
Solana counts as macros. Do you count macros?
No, I used to do that stuff, but you kind of get into a rhythm of what's what, and then you don't have to count it. So you just eat a whole lot of protein and move on with your day. I don't want to look at an app every time I have a meal.
It's pretty lame, huh?
He likes, what does he like? Microgreens? Is that what he
drinks? Microgreens and omega-3 eggs, free range.
Yeah. You ever have an omega-3 egg?
I don't know what that is.
It's just a cage-free egg, Mike. I mean, these guys are. And how many times do I have to tell you?
Were we caging eggs before? Were they going to escape? What are we doing?
Microgreens are a great source of fiber for the last time.
But I think Mike brings up a great point. It's a cage-free chicken. I don't think we call it a cage-free egg because
those eggs are quick. They get away from you.
Why do you think the price went up this year on eggs? They're escaping.
Well, that's up for debate. I mean, that could go either. Cugno. So again, he's gonna be doing the Dolphins sidelines for the preseason on CBS 4. Do we know, we were talking about this with a couple of guys, a couple of analysts. Are the Dolphins one of the great unknowns this season where they could just as easy be a playoff team as they could just as easy be the cellar dwellers in their own division? Like, do we have any idea going into the season what they're going to be?
Okay, so this is kind of the way I look. Like when I talk about a floor with the Dolphins, the way I look at it is what we saw last year with Tua in there and Tua out. So the combination of that was 8 wins. So I think, in my mind, you start at about just Tua being there is gonna, like, for an entire season, you can put your floor somewhere right around 7 or 8 wins. So that to me, and then what happens next, whether they could figure out the offense, obviously the offensive line, there's going to be some changes there. That's where I go. So that's why I don't see this team being a bad football team. Like, I'm not, like, I don't think they're like a 4-win team. I'm just not going to buy that. I think it's more like, are you going to get 8 and 9 Miami Dolphins, or is the ceiling going to be a little higher from there? That's where I kind of put their baseline, because they are getting a lot of, look, Minkah Fitzpatrick being back there at safety is certainly going to help, but the defensive line is going to look a lot better this year. Not so many injuries coming into the season. So to me, I just don't see them as one of these, polarizing teams in terms of the number of wins.
And Mike, you bring up the O-line, and I'm with you. Armstead retiring and bringing in young guys. I can't say his name. I'm not going to try the second-round pick. But my biggest question is cornerback. Like, if I'm another team going into a game and it's Cater, Kohu, and Storm Duck, I'm not running the ball very much. Is that the biggest concern, or is it another position?
No, I mean, no, you're right. It is. It is the biggest question mark. We'll see if they can find a veteran sometime between now and then, maybe even trade for one. But that's why I think that, having Sheeler there and Chop and Jalen and Bradley, having that unit healthy and getting to the quarterback, to me, that's going to help so much. And you really, I think we kind of forget what Bradley Chubb was adding. The year, he was healthy when it was him, Sealer, Jalen for most of the year before he got hurt. Like, he was an 11-sack guy. He was either first or second in the team in tackles for a loss that year too. Like that was a lot of production you lost with Bradley Chubb and Jalen being out. So that obviously would help. That would help on the back end with those corners in terms of time to throw, obviously. But you still need some dependable guys. So they do have to figure that out. That is the biggest question mark going into camp. There will be camp battles, and we'll see if they can find someone maybe on the market that they can plug and play immediately.
Hey, what about offensively? What's the identity going to be in your mind, Cugno? Is it going to be in 2023? Because I know we've done, and the Dolphins have been talking about they're trying to change, the culture inside the locker room, and they're trying to be a tougher team, and they can say what they want to say, but when they start playing games, are they going to try to really be a more run first team? Or is this just going to end up being the track meet that we saw in 2023 because, hey, Tyreek should be healthy, Waddle should be healthy, and hopefully Tua's healthy for 17?
So that is my number one question going into this year, is what the offensive identity will be. Because, look, last year they even told us, like, and, Mike McDaniel said at times, like, even Tyreek was saying, hey, we need to be a little bit more balanced on offense in terms of the way we attack teams. To me, if you have 2 of the fastest guys in the NFL on the outside, use 2 of the fastest guys in the NFL on the outside. And then, what Devon Achane can give you out of the backfield in terms of, you don't know whether he's going to run the ball or be a pass catcher. And we know all the motion and stuff they do. If you can figure that out, that part of the offense out again, like you did in 2023, I'd much rather see them go that way, because sometimes using that threat to set up the run isn't bad. We saw Raheem Mostert set a Dolphins franchise record in terms of touchdowns that year, and a lot of it's coming out of the backfield. So to me, I just think you just lean into your most talented players, use them, and to me that's where I would go in terms of finding an identity. It seems so simple. I know it's not the NFL. Like, there's a lot of moving parts. but I would, if it were me, I would go back to more of the track meet style, get those guys going. Even Malik Washington, I mean, he had packages last year where you saw some flashes of that speed. I just like what they have at wide receiver, and until they can tell me that and show me they can run the ball, just lean on those guys.
Yeah, I'm with that. Who do you think they're closer to, being the team that they were in 2023 or being the team that we saw last season? Because I've made the case to Crowder and Solana and Jimmy that, hey, ignore last year. Like, only worry about 2023 when Tua was healthy. Whatever you saw last year was, to me, an aberration. I expect them to look like they looked in 2023. Which one do you think is the closer to this team being this season?
I'm going to caveat. I'm going to say they're closer to 2023, but I'm going to caveat this because last year, that was just frustrating. That was just a frustrating year because of the injury at quarterback, him in and out of the lineup. So then that's why I said, like, that's, to me, that's the baseline. If that's how bad it's going to be again, this team's going to be, I think, at worst, 7 wins. But man, there was just so many times that season, 2023, where it looked like opposing defenses just had no answers. And then there was times where some teams seemed to figure it out, like the Baltimore Ravens. I'm just, it's find the middle ground of whatever 2023 was. It's not the 70 points, and then it's not the team that went into Baltimore and got blasted. It's somewhere in the middle where you're seeing a lot of production, where you're seeing Tua that year Tua was the number 1 passer in the league in terms of yards, and he was top 5 in terms of touchdowns. He had 29 that year. But he's got to be somewhere in that 1 to 8 range for this offense, to me, to be clicking at what we remember seeing in 23.
And Mike, speaking of Tua, it runs through him. The team, I don't say the offense, the team runs through him. If they don't get to, mid-20s, high 20s, 30s, like, I don't think they're going to win, choke teams out defensively. But is our concern of the backup quarterback something bigger this year because of what we saw with Tim Boyle and Huntley and all those guys last year? Like, when Zach Wilson gets in the game now, you really have to pay attention, don't you?
Yeah, so think about this. So last year, in terms of passing plays of 20 or more air yards, the Dolphins had 10 all season. And that was, I believe that was tied for 31st in the league, where the year before they were first. So, and you can see even Tua, his air yards last year took a bit of a dip. That's why I think like he's got, the offense has to go back to that 2023 style, and having your quarterback room, your backup quarterback room set. You know that these are the guys. You're not going back and forth, or all of a sudden in the end of July or mid-August, you got to find a new guy. No, the fact that these guys are going to be in it, and Zach Wilson has experience as a starter in this league, you feel a little bit better about that stuff, and maybe trust it. Look, if Quinn Ewers gets in there at any point, something terrible has gone wrong, right? To like 2 quarterbacks have gone down. You probably feel
Zach
better
Wilson's no good, which is a possibility. But at least you've seen him start NFL games before. Well, that's why I say maybe he's no good, because I've seen him.
Right. I know. But at least there was some plan to address it this year, where last year it felt like it was just kind of like trying to play catch up the entire time something bad happened at the quarterback position.
Cugno, what did you think of the swing off to end the All-Star game last night?
Thank you for asking, because Solana tried to sneak in a really bad take in the middle of the night. I thought it was great. My only hang up on it was that Mr. Boone picked someone else to hit home runs on that line, because we needed to see it come down to the last guy. That's my only gripe.
Well, do you know why he was forced to pick who he was forced to pick?
Did some guys just hit the showers and leave? Am I making that up?
Not just hit the showers. We're literally on airplanes. Aaron Judge was on an airplane. Like, everyone left. The real stars play the first couple of innings because they start, and then they get out of there so they can have a little modicum of a vacation before the league starts back up again.
But that was, it was great. It's a great idea, and I love it. But there are certain guys across the league that just seem built for that kind of stuff. Schwarber and Pete Alonso would be top of my list in terms of who would you want to have a swing off. I would choose those two guys in any top 5 for a swing off ever. I loved it. I thought it was great. And I'm also happy that Stowers was able to contribute there in that spot, because everyone around the country is probably like, who's this Stowers guy? But we've been watching him hit 19 home runs for the first half of the season. We knew he had the power to do it.
Solana doubled down on it in the 2:00 hour. I mean, maintains it was awful.
No, I just didn't love it the way everybody else loved it, Cugno. Everybody, I texted Hawk before I even looked at Twitter. I was telling Hawk, man, like, I don't think this is good. I don't think this is fun. And then I go to Twitter and I'm expecting the same reaction, and I literally can't find a single person who didn't like it. Everybody's talking about
fun of the entire night.
Right. Yeah. Everybody's talking about it being like the best thing that's ever happened in sports. And I didn't have that reaction.
No,
I didn't feel that way.
You got to look at it through the prism of baseball, who has traditionally messed up this game by having ties and all of a sudden calling games. Like, they have, over the last couple of years, they have made adjustments to the game itself, whether it's extra innings, whether it's the pitch clock, whether it's the robotic umps that are coming into play. This was just another thing that baseball fans, young and old, can point to and go, this was a cool way to end this. So that, did you see the last out of the game, dude? That little check swing where the ball didn't leave the batter's box? Like, how can the All-Star game end in a 6-6 tie on that? So, like, to me, that's why they needed something. That would have been the most anticlimactic finish to an All-Star game after the way that AL came back in that they were down 6-0. And for it to end on that little check, foul ball, whatever, would have been a disaster. So look at the prism of the changes baseball has made, and you just put this in the win column for what they've been doing.
You call it a disaster. I would have called it spectacular, because it means I could have gone to bed earlier instead of watching a bunch of guys take BP.
You weren't watching it. You literally only tuned it out because I texted you. I texted you that there's a dong off. Like, that's the only reason. Yeah,
I didn't watch a single minute of the All-Star game, Mike. I didn't even know about the check swing. That does sound ridiculous.
Oh, my God. You see
that's what I'm saying. You're arguing with, and
a little context, buddy. Like, man, you're so good at this. Like, that you're perfect for. This is why you win these awards from Miami times, because you could just swoop in with a hot take, not have seen an entire game, and just you zigged when everyone zagged.
Guy told us Julian Hill was going to be the next great tight end for the Dolphins.
Could be.
Man, I've got Cugno today. He will not say a bad word about Zach Wilson or Julian Hill. This dude is excited for his sideline.
Darren Waller. We need Darren Waller.
I'm trying to get him to take a shot at Jim Barry. I'm giving him easy targets. He's passing on all of them. The only thing he wants to attack is glizzies.
Yeah. See, I know how to bob and weave. I'm giving you the old rope-a-dope.
Oh, we've noticed.
I'm giving you the rope-a-dope while still getting airtime, which is just beautiful. Like, this is like you
have an air fryer. Someone texts in that you could air fry a hot dog.
I used to have an air fryer, and then it crapped out on me, which was a disaster, because I used to, my old go-to candy was you dice up a little mango, put some chili powder on it, and dry a mango in there, and like.
I am on a mango kick lately. Funny that you say mango. When's mango out of season? Because I am on a major mango kick.
It's getting there. It's getting there if it isn't already.
Yeah, it's never really out of season, though. You just go to Publix, you buy some mango.
Can you get mango all year long?
All year long.
Yeah, you can. But that's not candy, Mike. That's a dried mango. Don't call that candy. You're not.
If you get the right mango, though, it is almost like candy. The right mango at the heart of mango season is almost like eating a Snickers bar.
That's ridiculous.
It's the same thing. Caramel comes out of it and everything.
And Hawk, you better quit trying Jim Barry. Jim Barry ain't no easy win now.
Oh, listen, no. I used to have Jim Barry on the show till Cugno stole his slot, and now all of a sudden won't do any of the fun stuff that he promised.
Who, me or Jim? Is this how Jim got off doing this? Is that how he got out of it?
Pretty much. Yeah. Couldn't, for whatever reason, I could not get Jim Barry to agree to go get an orange Julius while talking about the Panthers preseason.
To pick this man's brain a little bit more.
See you, Cugno. We love you.
Love you too.
Hey.